In the previous video, we learned how to connect C# to MySQL, and we ran a very basic example where we were able to do a connection. In this video, we're going to go ahead and close this and create a second and third project where we do some more complex things. So for now, go to File and go to New Project. Again, make sure it's a Visual C console application. And let's call it DB2. I will make it capital here. And just hit OK. Now, the one thing we do have to do is add that reference with every new project. This allows us to talk to MySQL. So again, right-click on References, hit Add Reference. Now you should have a Recent tab over here, or under Assembly there's also a Recent. So just click the MySQL data and hit OK. Oop, let's go to, under Browse you should have it, and hit MySQL. That may be from a previous attempt. So underneath Browse you will have MySQL. Just go ahead and hit OK. And we have MySQL off to the side here. Fantastic. So what I want to do is let's go back to those files we downloaded from FSO, open up DB2, and I'm going to hit Command A and copy it. So Command A and then Command C. I can close this. And then in here I'll hit Command A to copy all, and then I do right click and hit paste. Okay, let's see how this code differs from the previous code. I still have all of my usings, which import all of these different packages and DLLs and drivers. There's the MySQL driver, which I imported. And then over here, well, I have my namespace as an old one. It's called console app 1. I'm going to just change this to DB2, just so it's consistent. Now I'm going to go ahead and I still have an address of all zeros. So I need to go back to that address I copied from the ifconfig. And by the way, if you shut down your computer and then perhaps go to a different network, you go to school or you go from one Starbucks to home, you need to go ahead and rerun this because that address probably will change. So since we're not dealing with permanent IP addresses, and this is all network stuff that you guys haven't learned yet, we're just touching, again, just topping them out and we're just touching it. This is actually the address of your computer to a network. It's how it identifies it. So copy whatever that address is and paste it over here. And then make sure your example, you change this to the month and year of your database so it matches. We're still logging in as DBS admin. And I'll scroll down. This is similar, but it's not the same. We're still going to connect to MySQL using that CS, the connection string. So it is going to connect using this information, CS, that we put in there. I have a new one here called MySQL Data Reader, and I call it RDR. We'll see what that is in just a moment. Bring that a little lower. I open the connection, same as the last one. My statement I changed. I said, let's select star from item limit 10. Now here you can put any select statement you want. You could put update statements. You could put almost anything. And then in the next line, this is where the command gets run. And we're saying put the results of this SQL command into the variable CMD. And the statement is, of course, select star from item limit 10. And the connection is this connection string we established. Here we go, up above. Because we're not getting back one row, we're going to get multiple rows. We need to be able to loop through them. So what I'm going to do is, once we get the data back as CMD, I'm going to say RDR, which is that MySQL reader, data reader, is equal to CMD dot execute reader. This does a little transformation, so we're able to do a loop. Now we have a while loop, which I know you've learned previously. And while RDR.read, so while it can read the next row, it's going to read one row, loop, and then it's going to read the next row and loop and next row. I'm going to go ahead and write a few things to the screen. And the first one I'm saying is we're going to do a write line, RDR, and get int 32, which is just get integer, because the first column in the item table is item ID, which is an integer. And 0, when it comes back, we're dealing with an array. index 0. So if I did this select and the first column was item ID, that's going to get item ID, the first column. The second column is the title. And we can actually, you know what, let's just take a moment. Let me open SQL Pro here, let me connect. And let's take a look at that item table. So we have item ID and title. First one is an integer. Second one is a varchar. So what we'll see is for the second one, I say rdr.getString1. Again, 1 is the second place in an index. So once we've done that, the rest of it is the same catch and final to close the connection that we previously have. So go over and hit debug and start with debugging, without debugging. And what we'll see here is 1 through 10, Fulbert, Betty and the Veronicas, X-Men Attack. Well, let's take a look back at MySQL. There's Fulbert, there's Betty, there's X-Men, and there's John Carpenter's. So this select statement, this little piece of code, talk to the database, pulp that data out, and then let us work with it inside of a C file. Pretty cool. So I'm going to do one more example for you. I'm going to hit save, and I'm going to create, I didn't hit save as, save, there we go. There we go. You have to be clicked in this window. Okay, so one last thing I want to do is I'm going to create a third project here. So I'm going to hit new project. Again, same thing, but let's call it DB3 and just hit OK. Again, we need to go over to references, right click, hit add reference, and pick that MySQL data DLL. Okay. Now I'm going to go back over here and open up that DB3 text file. Let's select it all and paste it over here. Again, Command A is to select everything. Ooh. And hit paste. And there's a few things we need to change, just like everything else. Up in here, I'm going to change this to DB3 so it matches the project name. I still need to go ahead and get that IP address right over here and paste it over those zeros. And make sure your database name, your month and year is the same as what you have. So, okay, so next, what am I doing? I can do something a little different here. I'm going to go ahead and request a search term. And then I'm going to do a read line. So the program is going to ask us to type something in. Then it's going to open up a data connection, do the SQL data reader, open that. And now here's what's a little different. I'm going to say the statement is equal to select star from item where title like single quote %, whatever search term we type in, %. So when I run this, whatever search term I type in, it's going to replace it here, put a % before and after that, and then say limit 100. Then it's going to run the connection and do the same loop as before, and I'm still going to go ahead and for now just print out the item ID and the item title. So let's hit save, and let's go ahead and run this again without debugging, and ask us for a search term. So for now I'm going to say, well, let's look for X-Men. Wow. Let's go back to the top, and there's X-Men Attack, Avengers in the X-Men, X-Men 23, Uncanny X-Men. All of these titles contain the word X-Men. That's pretty cool, because we were able to take the user's input and now do a select with it. And it's really not a huge leap now to say maybe we'll take in multiple inputs. Maybe we'll have someone's first name, last name, username, password, sort of like a sign-up form, and then we could go ahead and instead of issuing a select with that data, we could go ahead and issue perhaps an insert or an update with that data. Perhaps we could do a change password. Anyway, the possibilities are endless. But I'll go ahead, I just want to run this one more time, and we'll pick it with something else. Let's go ahead and go for Halo. So now the search term is Halo. And we can see we didn't get quite as many, but here's Halo UNSC, Halo 5 Guardians. Everything in here has Halo. So again, this is just a basic example, but as you continue on in your courses, you will be using this connection, this code here, to go ahead and connect the database to your project so you can make your projects more robust. Perhaps be able to have username and password logins in your projects, and maybe you can actually save data from your projects as opposed to just running a C app and then having C# app, and then when you close it, all the data is gone. You can actually retain that data, so when you run the program again, you can query the database and get that data back. So anyway, I hope this kind of gives you an idea of how to connect C to MySQL, and it could be any database, but you'll definitely be using this more in the future.